hi, how are you, hello, you keep your pleasantries, because once you have that positive attitude or immediately going in, it would stick with you. Because, if someone comes mean to you, I guess, and you feed off of that, then you're going to hold on to that emotion for a while. So you just want the pleasantries. Whether somebody said something nice, mean, in between, I kept the smile. It didn't really bother me. Nothing really fazed me that morning. I was on a goal, on a mission. Once I got to the lobby area, there were several interviewees there and flight attendants as well. I introduced myself to everyone. I kept conversations flowing. There were a lot of ladies there, honestly, that were dressed like actual flight attendants. Like, they had the scarves and all that stuff. And I was under the impression, to be quite honest, that they were working for the company. I actually thought that they were, and I kept the professionalism and I kept the conversation going until all of our conversations were interrupted to let us know that it was time to start. And we started getting name tags. They called you out and you got your name tag. And I started noticing some of these ladies with the scarves, they were going to get their name tag too. So I'm like, oh, you're interviewing just like I am. That is so awesome. I automatically thought that you were already a flight attendant for this company, and that says a lot. You know what I'm saying? So we proceeded with the interview process. I'm not going to go through the fact that of all three phases. Other videos have said what the three phases are. Of course, campsite or fireside chat, face-to-face, and the jump or reach test. Forgive me once again if I'm mispronouncing it. I really don't recall the name all that well, which is really bad, right? Once we were all set into our different groups and we were then told as to what the process was going to be for the day, we were then allowed to intermingle and to talk to the several flight attendants and members of human resources that were there. I introduced myself to everyone in that room, and you're probably saying, that's impossible. How did you do that? Well, they were all lined up along the wall. Now, some people tried to stick to someone that they were comfortable with in terms of talking. I talked to everybody. I shook every hand in that room, introduced myself, and also found out a fact about each person as to how long they've been working with the company, why they enjoy working for the company, and where they're originally from. Those are my three main things to ask, because it's always good, like, you get a person talking. And fortunate enough, some people were traveling in packs. So I guess they were utilizing that one person to initiate conversation and just stood there off to the side like, okay, this is me interacting. Don't do that. Make sure that you actually vocalize that they heard your voice and that they heard your name, that they didn't have to look for your name tag, that you were forthcoming like, hi, I am such and such, So make sure that that's something that you do. You don't necessarily have to ask questions if you don't have any questions, but it's always good to see that you're interacting. Interact with all of the interviewees as well as the interviewers, because they're looking at that. They want to see that you're able to get along with people that you literally just met, right? I had my face-to-face. Both my interviewers were awesome. They made me feel comfortable. They informed me that they know what it's like to go through the interview process, and they don't want to make it difficult. They just want me to relax, and they took it at a really nice pace, and I love that. They really did put me at ease. I was able to be myself and answer the questions to the best of my abilities. I was still nervous about it when I left because I wasn't sure how to gauge whether or not I answered in the best way possible. I will say this to you. After every part in your rotation, you do come back to the main area. Well, that was for us. I don't know if all the airlines do that, but if that should be the case, where in between each activity you come back to a main area, a main meeting point. Please continue to interact and continue to act as though you are being interviewed, because you are being interviewed. You're being monitored. There are people looking at you, whether you think they noticed you or not. Even if they weren't the individuals that directly interviewed you, they're still monitoring you. because there was one girl, for instance, we were in a group of 4, not literally placed into a group of 4, but it was 4 of us standing in a room talking. And one gentleman from HR came over to us and he asked, how did we think that we did? Like, if we had just finished our face-to-face and how we thought we did. Everyone had mixed reviews as to how they did, but, you know, it was roughly in the same ballpark. We weren't sure how to gauge it. And one girl said, I am happy that it is over. That's one weight lifted off of my shoulder. Now I can relax. And he said to her, that's not true. She said, why did you say that? He said, because I'm interviewing you right now. And there's several of my colleagues standing in this room right now paying attention to you, and they're looking at your body language. They're interviewing you too. We all get a say-so as to who gets hired. So it kind of put her on guard to remain focused. I also spoke to you earlier, I don't know if you remember, about being cocky and pretentious. There was one gentleman that came in. I swear, I guess he had shares in the company. I don't know. But he was roaming around in there like, hey, I got this job. I don't know about everybody else. And it's like, I don't know how best to explain it, but we would be, like, he was in my group. And we were in one area that we were supposed to be in. And he left that area to go to talk to somebody else, I guess one of his friends or somebody he had just met that's in the other group. And then he kept coming back and forth between groups. I guess he was trying to show that he was versatile. I don't know what it was, but we had one specific activity that we had to do at that point in time, and he left that activity to go do something else. And as much as nobody said anything to him, and then they're smiling and they're talking to you, that's still something that they're looking at, because even in the hallways, you're being watched. Also, try to make yourself look sprightly. I don't know how far you're going to be coming from to attend your interviews. And I understand you're going to get tired because, trust me, my flight was for 6 o'clock that morning. My interview wasn't until 12:30 that afternoon. And we didn't go, well, I don't want to say we didn't start the process, but we did not receive name tags at 12:30. I can definitely tell you that much. So do know that, yes, you're going to be tired. I'm sure they're going to offer refreshments. Try to keep yourself upright. Even if you have to go to the bathroom and splash water on your face, do it. Or, you know, if you have to just like put like a cold rag real quick on the back of your neck, a cold, I don't know, get like a paper towel or something, put it on the back of your neck just to jump yourself up. Do it. Do whatever it takes to keep yourself up, because they're looking at that. There was another girl in my group. She sat down. Another individual from HR came over to us and started talking to us, and he says to her, hey, are you tired? And she said, well, kind of, sort of, because I had to leave home at 2 o'clock this morning to get here. He said, do you know what you're applying for? She said, to be a flight attendant. He said, so then that's going to be your lifestyle. Are you ready for that? And she was like, yeah, I think I am. He's like, then you can't look so sleepy. You can't look tired. You know what I mean? So they were in a room of 60 people. He noticed that. So that's, you know, that's something. It says a lot. Also, go back to the hair thing that I said to you in the beginning for the video interview. It still applies to the face-to-face. Wear your hair out of your face. If you have a nice short cut or whatever, try to do like your curls, I guess, going back. I don't know. Just try to wear your hair away from your face. That way they can see your face. Wear a nice big smile. And you should be fine. Also, answer the questions that you are asked. Do not overtalk. Do not offer up more information than you need to. Just stay on task. If they ask you, what is today's date? You give them today's date. Don't give them yesterday's date, last week's date, last year's date, tomorrow's date. Give them today's date. Don't even offer the time. If they told you just the date, then you give them the date. Simple as is. But at the very end of it all, we all came back to the main room. It was coming down to the end of our interview process. We were thanked for being there. We were told that we would all receive emails within 2 weeks of the interview, of the face-to-face interview. However, there were 4 names on that list of names because processing takes like a really long time, apparently. These 4 people were to stay back once they heard their name called. So we all were really, really nervous. I was the first person called. I was super excited, but I didn't jump up like, yes, because you still have to keep a professional demeanor. As much as I wanted to, I was doing flips on the inside, but at the same point in time, there was 4 of us called, and it so happens one of the ladies that had the nice little scarf on, she was actually one of the 4 names I was called, and it was really nice. I actually had the opportunity to talk to her, and we talked several times within our rotation. Matter of fact, 2 of the other ladies I spoke to several times within our rotation. One of them, I did not get to speak to her other than the initial introducing myself to her when we first got there. But I didn't get to speak to her within the rotation because we would always end up in separate ends of the room. But we did get to talk like after everyone left. If you don't get called, don't show that you feel a type of way. Still be pleasant to everybody, because that is still looked at, because you still have an opportunity to have your file pulled and be called in. There were some people that were rather rude while they were leaving. They didn't even talk to the interviewers while they were leaving. They just walked out the room pissed. So that's also looked at. And remember, they're taking your name tags. You're going to know who you are when you leave. But that's my process thus far. I will hopefully be able to record something for training if I have time. I heard it's rigorous. So I've been talking for 25 minutes, about to be 26, and it's 26 now. So I will talk to you guys later.